I think it's time we stop pretending this marriage was ever normal. Brett Cooper just pulled the curtain back on what might be the most shocking allegation in Hollywood right now, that Hailey Bieber wasn't just some love-struck model who happened to end up with Justin Bieber. According to Brett, Hailey was placed strategically, surgically, and with intent.
Justin didn't know that any of this was happening. And when you are somebody with a team of that size, when you have a net worth that is that large, when you have business manager on top of business manager on top of business manager and agents and accountants and everybody who is running your life basically, you're not looking over every single transaction. You are not the one making your budget. In my opinion, I think that they allowed all of this to happen.
And once you hear the full story, it becomes harder and harder to write off as a coincidence. Let's look at the facts. Before her marriage, Hailey Baldwin was well known in modeling circles, sure, but she wasn't a household name. She was the pretty face on the runway, not the face of a billion-dollar brand. Yet somehow, within months of tying the knot with Justin Bieber, everything changed. She became a permanent fixture on magazine covers, a force in fashion weeks, and the founder of one of the fastest-growing skincare lines in the industry.
Under the guidance and orchestration of Lou Taylor and Aaron Rosenberg, Justin Bieber sells his entire catalog to Hypnosis for $200 million. Justin was backed into a corner.
And what's eerie is just how calculated her approach to Justin seemed from the very beginning. People have pulled receipts showing that Hailey was lurking in Bieber's fandom since she was a teenager, attending fan meet and greets, tweeting about wanting to marry him, and even standing outside hotels to catch a glimpse. But here's where things get uncomfortable. Insiders now claim her family had connections with powerful players behind Justin's career. Her father, actor Stephen Baldwin, allegedly leveraged those connections to ensure she got FaceTime with
Justin still owes his label, which involves Scooter, 4 more albums. Justin can't do these albums without Scooter's involvement. And so if he wants to make music right now, if he wants to be releasing songs, it has to be with Scooter. And Scooter has to approve all of it. So again, another massive power imbalance.
the pop star at just the right moment, right when he was spiraling after his breakup with Selena Gomez. If you map it out, it starts to feel less like a love story and more like a corporate acquisition. She entered Justin's life at his most vulnerable. His relationships were in shambles. His trust in people was broken. And in walked Hailey, poised, controlled, and endlessly supportive. But was it love? Or was it positioning? And the biggest red flag, the speed of it all.
Justin Bieber's wife, Hailey Bieber, just sold her makeup company for a whopping $1 billion. It was a record-breaking beauty sale. And guys, what makes this even crazier is that Hailey Bieber built this company in less than 5 years. And what makes it even crazier on top of that is that all of this happened in spite of everything that we know is going on in their personal life. The PR wars, the legal litigation, the fact that Justin felt that he had to sell his entire life's work, the fact that she just became a mother, that she had an incredibly traumatic birth, that she almost died in childbirth.
They were engaged in weeks, married in months. And within a year, Justin Bieber, one of the most recognizable male pop stars on earth, had seemingly surrendered control of his image, his business, and even his social circle. To me, that doesn't feel like fate. That feels like strategy. And if Brett Cooper's right, that Hailey was planted to derail him, then the next part of this story makes way more.
And in a crazy turn of events, I actually had the privilege to talk to people who are actually currently close to Justin, and basically everything that I assumed about what's going on was confirmed.
Sense. Let's be honest, Justin Bieber hasn't been the same since the wedding. I think most fans felt it in their gut, even if they didn't want to admit it. The vibrant, chaotic energy he brought to his early music? Gone. The passion in his performances? Diminished. The spontaneous, candid joy that used to radiate off him? It's like someone flipped the switch and walked away. Since marrying Hailey, Justin's public appearances have been filled with awkward moments, blank stares, and sometimes visible discomfort. He's lashed out on Instagram. He's posted cryptic stories, shared emotionally raw captions, and even hinted at betrayal. Fans have started compiling these moments like a trail of breadcrumbs, connecting them back to one consistent theme. He feels trapped, controlled, maybe even regretful. Reports started surfacing of mental health breakdowns behind the scenes. He canceled tour dates, disappeared from the spotlight for months at a time. One alarming incident involved Justin visibly shaking during a concert, leading fans to believe he was on the verge of a breakdown. Add to that whispers of financial.
All of this coincided with Selena Gomez's new album. And many have now tried to tie Selena's album back to Justin Bieber, which has then just fueled the divorce rumors with Justin and Hailey. And I can tell you guys, from what I have heard, none of that is true. And Selena is basically asking people to stop. She literally said, "I would like to say that most of this album has nothing to do with what everyone may go to."
Mismanagement and legal drama. none of which plagued him during his single days. And it's hard to ignore the decline. And here's the gut-wrenching part.
I think it's important for me to say that because I've evolved so much and I've experienced life with new people. She's saying it's not just about Justin. And yet they continue to run these stories. Not just that, but say, oh, Hailey and Justin are on the rocks. Oh, they're so unhappy. He's cheating on her. Oh, he posted this. What is the motivation? Why do you continue when you objectively have facts saying that that is not the case?
It doesn't feel like he has anyone in his corner anymore. The people who used to speak up for him, gone. Scooter Braun, out. Old friends like Carl Lentz, cut off. Family members who once shaped his upbringing, seemingly silenced. Every time Justin seems to cry out for help online, it echoes into silence. Why? Because the one person still standing beside him, Hailey, is the only one who doesn't seem rattled by the chaos. Some even speculate that Justin's Instagram has been curated, filtered, and possibly even managed by people other than him. His recent posts don't match his voice. They feel robotic, detached, strategic. You can't tell me this is just growing pains. Something is happening here. And if this is what love looks like, then we seriously need to reevaluate what Justin...
Not about what makes rational or even financial sense. Justin does have a great support system behind the scenes, probably the best support system that he has ever had in terms of his community and his business, but publicly, he needs our prayers and support so that he does not go through the same thing that we watched happen to Britney Spears, to Prince, to Elvis, and to Michael Jackson.
Signed up for, but just wait. Because while Justin was spiraling, Hailey, she was thriving. This is where the story flips, and it's almost too perfect. As Justin faded further and further into obscurity, Hailey exploded into global relevance. And not by accident. We're talking cover after cover, Vogue, Elle, Bazaar, Front Row, appearances at the Met Gala, fashion weeks in Milan and Paris, and an aggressive press push that seemed to brand her not just as a model, but as a mogul. Let's talk about Rhode, a skincare brand launched with clean aesthetics, viral packaging, and influencer support from the moment it hit shelves. Within 2 years, it was reportedly valued at $1 billion, and now it's been acquired by ELF Beauty. That's not just a brand win, that's generational wealth. And she did it while Justin was canceling tours, posting cryptic breakdowns, and disappearing for weeks on end. Hailey even started subtly rebranding herself as the alpha in the relationship. She went from Justin's wife to Hailey Bieber, CEO. That shift didn't happen organically, it was engineered. Her team leaned into it hard. No more sad stares next to Justin on the red carpet. No more paparazzi photos of her in tears. Suddenly, she was posed. Confident, untouchable. And meanwhile, Justin's narrative flipped. Once the powerhouse of pop, now seen by some as the reclusive husband who can't get it together. At events, he's either missing or looks miserable. There was even a moment when Hailey celebrated the Rhode X Krispy Kreme collab. Without Justin. No post, no promo, nothing. Fans noticed. And the silence spoke volumes. People started asking, did Hailey need Justin to elevate herself? And now that she's made it, what happens to him? That's the question Brett Cooper is daring to ask. And the next section is where the power struggle really starts to show. Let's be honest. Something's off about the way Justin and Hailey interact. I think most people watching their body language can feel it. There's tension, there's discomfort, and most of all, there's a visible imbalance. Because while Justin keeps making public statements that sound like confessions, Hailey's standing tall, calm, and in control. Remember that video clip where Justin opened the car door and just walked away, leaving Hailey to trail behind him in heels? Or that awkward red carpet moment where she tried to kiss him and he flinched? These aren't isolated incidents. They're patterns, repeated cracks in the illusion of a perfectly polished couple. And every time Justin apologizes publicly, whether for past mistakes or cryptic online rants, it feels less like accountability and more like submission. And while Justin's trying to clean up his past, Hailey's rewriting their present. She's drawn hard boundaries, cut off old friends, reportedly distanced him from people like Carl Lentz, Scooter Braun, and even close family members. They've revamped their inner circle entirely. And if you pay attention, Hailey is always the one speaking with clarity. She gives interviews, she pushes brand deals, she sets the tone for their public image. Justin? He's quiet, passive, watching. It almost feels like Hailey's running the brand, and Justin is the brand. And I'm not saying there's something sinister behind that, but I am saying this. When one partner starts managing the optics, filtering, communication, and shutting down any external influence, that's not just privacy, that's power. And power always tells a story. So who's really holding the reins here? Who's controlling the narrative? Because from where I'm standing, it doesn't feel like it's Justin. And that brings us to the part no one wants to say out loud. What if this relationship isn't about love anymore? What if it's about leverage? Now here's where things get real. Let's talk about money. Because if everything else didn't make you question this marriage, this should. According to multiple reports, Justin and Hailey never signed a prenuptial agreement. Let me repeat that. No prenup. No legal protection. No barrier between two massive fortunes. And if you know anything about California law, you know what that means. Community property. That's right. In the event of a split, everything acquired during the marriage is fair game. And that includes Hailey's $1 billion Road Beauty brand. Let's say they divorce tomorrow. Justin could potentially walk away with half of that. That's hundreds of millions of dollars. And before you say he doesn't need it, remember, Justin's been canceling tours, pulling out of projects, and allegedly dealing with serious financial mismanagement. He's not in the empire-building stage anymore. And here's the twist. What if Hailey is the one who initiated the no prenup decision? Think about it. When they got married, Justin was the richer, more powerful partner. Hailey was still trying to make her name. If they split then, she'd have walked away with his money. But now, the tables have turned. Her empire is flourishing. Rhode is being bought by ELF Beauty. Her brand value has skyrocketed. So now that she's the asset, how does that dynamic change? What happens when the one who started from behind becomes the one with more to lose? And more importantly, who benefits if the marriage stays intact? Because this isn't just about affection anymore. This is a business merger with no exit clause. So, if either of them is feeling trapped, now we know why. From the outside, this marriage looks like a PR roller coaster. One day they're tower couple goals. The next, they're fueling breakup rumors. But here's what I think. The media doesn't know how to spin them. Some outlets portray Hailey as a saint, the wife who rescued Justin from chaos, the graceful, loyal partner standing by a troubled star. Others paint her as cold, calculated, the woman who inserted herself into a pop dynasty and flipped it into a billion-dollar empire. And it's not just the media, it's fans. Social media has turned their relationship into a constant war zone. Jailius over trends. Every time Justin posts something cryptic, TikToks break down their body language frame by frame. Reddit threads speculate about secret fights, brand deals, and hidden motives. People are even arguing over smiles. Did Hailey smile enough in this video? Did Justin look annoyed in that photo? And the sad part? None of it is accidental. Every image, every story, every Instagram caption is being analyzed like it holds the key to some secret contract between them. But here's the irony. The more polished they try to appear, the more suspicious people become. Because when you're really in love, you don't have to prove it. When you're safe, you don't have to curate every moment. Right now, they feel like a brand more than a couple. And when public perception turns into a battleground, it's only a matter of time before the cracks start showing in real life. This is where things go from dramatic to downright chilling. Because Brett Cooper isn't just making noise. She's connecting dots that most people have been too scared to even acknowledge. According to Brett, this entire situation is bigger than Hailey and Justin. She believes there's an actual agenda in play. That Justin, once a global cultural icon, is being quietly dismantled from the inside. Not by enemies, not by critics, but by the people closest to him. And in her opinion, Hailey is just the final piece of that plan. Brett's theory goes like this. Justin was too big, too influential, and too unpredictable. He didn't play the Hollywood game. He rebelled, he disappeared. And then, suddenly, he got married. Fast, quietly. And to someone who didn't just fit into the system, but thrived in it. And from that moment on, the old Justin started to fade. What Brett's saying is simple, but terrifying. What if Hailey wasn't just a wife? What if she was the reset button? The one who could realign him, control his brand, rewrite his path. And if that's true, then everything we've seen since, the silence, the sadness, the loss of spark, it's not random. It's part of a plan. Brett is basically shouting from the rooftops that Justin Bieber has become a cautionary tale. That fame, if mismanaged, can become a cage. And sometimes the bars aren't built by strangers. They're built by people you trust. And what happens next? That's the scariest part of all. In the end, the complexities of celebrity relationships under public scrutiny are undeniable. The potential consequences of unchecked narratives can be devastating. As we navigate this intricate web of allegations, behaviors, and perceptions, it's crucial to form our own informed opinions. Let's not be swayed solely by headlines, but strive to understand the deeper truths that lie beneath.